channel, and if you're new here, thank you so much for joining me for this video today. So we are going to continue with video 2 of our 3-part little military series that we're doing here on my YouTube channel. If you haven't already, I'll go ahead and put the little link right here above for my first video, which is my 5 pros and 5 cons of if you should join the military. And that video was really fun to make, and a lot of you guys really enjoyed it. So that video, you know, is I was active duty Air Force for I did a 4-year contract. And so that video was for pretty much like all branches. A lot of things were very like military standard, and also for both sexes. Now this video is going to be targeted probably a lot more towards my ladies. However, some males might watch this just to get insight on being a woman in the military. Maybe you have a family member that wants to go in, your wife wants to go in. So I do think this video is also beneficial for both sexes. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this video. Like I said, I am going to be discussing overall how I feel being a woman in the military was for me personally. And also, not only am I a woman, but I am a black woman, which even though a lot of people nowadays like to say that, you know, that doesn't matter, it's 2020. Oh honey, it matters. Let me tell you, it matters. Just because it's 2020, baby, don't mean people are racist. Let me start there. I'm a very chill, like nonchalant, don't get mad a lot person, but if you watched my first video, you know that I enjoyed like the Air Force. Like I wouldn't go back and change anything, but I do have very strong feelings about being a woman in the military, and things that have happened, not only me, but people very close to me. And I know a lot of women out there probably can relate to this if you did serve. And I just want to bring it to light for those women who are thinking of serving. So like I said, we are gonna jump into this video. I don't have bullet points for this video like my other 2 videos that you guys will be having, the first and third. This one is kind of just me giving you my story and story of those around me. So, all right guys, let's go ahead and get into it. So I just like to start with a little bit of background about me. Like I said, I did 4 years with active duty Air Force. During that time, I went to basic training, which is in Texas. My tech school was Keesler, and then I was stationed in Arizona, where I served my entire contract, which I'm not mad about. I love Arizona. So my entire contract besides one deployment where I went to Kuwait. Some background about my career: I was a command and control battle management operations specialist. So that just means basically like I worked with like radar systems and with talking to pilots on the ground. The job doesn't really matter. I am married to a active duty service member right now. My husband is security forces, and we actually met on that deployment. So being a woman in the military, first off, let me tell you that I do think there really is a lot of stigma behind like being a woman in the military. I won't lie, even to this day, whenever we'll be out at restaurants, even when we were both active duty, I would say, do you have military discount? And they would look at my husband, and I would be like, and like hand them my ID, like, girl, I'm the veteran. Like, even still now, so if there's like veteran, you know, benefits, I'll just like whip out my card. And becoming a civilian and a spouse of active duty member has been so like eye-opening to me. Like the way that they come up to me, and like I'm treated so differently, honestly, like I'm an idiot, like I know nothing. And then like thankfully my husband like has my back. We'll tell them like, she's prior service, like she knows what you're talking about. Like, honey, don't talk to me like I'm crazy. Listen, guys. So that was very eye-opening for me. But so I'll say I came in when I was 17. I was extremely young. So I'm from a really small town in Ohio. So this was like, girl, eyes open to the world. Like, let me tell you. And I encountered a lot. Like, I think the first thing that made me realize, like, man, like they're really different towards women here was, it happened in tech school to me, and I am like really big into working out. I'm extremely proud of my body, and I like wear like leggings to the gym. Like I wear leggings, I wear like spandex shorts, I wear crop tops to the gym, like, but I'm not worried about anybody. Like I'm in there like doing my thing. I wear what makes me feel comfortable and good about myself while I'm working out. And I literally would have people be like, oh, that girl must be like a whore. That girl must be a slut. She's easy. Deployment, y'all. My own husband is guilty of this. Like, David thought I was like some hoe until like he actually got to know me and realized that like literally I've slept with like no one. He was like, wow, this girl's actually really nice and like respects herself. And I was like, why did you? And he's not the only person. I'll never forget on deployment, this guy that I was like, I wouldn't say friends with, we were like acquaintances. And one day I was outside my tent and I was like having a bad day. I was kind of upset because deployment was really rough for me. I'll go into that later. But he like sat down next to me and he was like, you know, you're not anything like you seem. This is another military member, active duty on our deployment. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, you know, a lot of people feel this way. A lot of guys have been talking about it when you first got here. Like, everyone thought you were going to be like the hoe of deployment, like so easy. And I was just like, I literally had a boyfriend when I first got in deployment. Like, I didn't talk to anyone. Like, I was like, what do you guys mean? And they were like, we thought you were going to be like this big hoe. And I was like, why? And they were like, because like the way you dress for the gym. Motherfucker, are you kidding me? When I tell you I was so mad, I was like, so because of the way I dress, that invites you guys to just assume everything about me. And I'm telling you, when they all got to know me, they were like, wow, Bree's actually like really cool, really down to earth. And these are men that are supposed to be like my brothers. Like, when you're in the military, like, they literally call you brothers and sisters. These people are supposed to be my brothers. I understand we're not all naive. Some people are going to be your brothers, but they're looking at you like they want to be a little bit more than your brother, my husband included. So, and like, that's fine, but like, there's a certain level of like respect we all are supposed to have for each other, and you just don't get that all the time, guys. Like, you really just do not get that. So if I could give like women one piece of advice, it's don't change yourself like for the men and some women. Some women are very judging in the military towards other women in the military. Like, I understand that we have a standard to uphold, but you also can be your own person and like have a life outside of work. I understand there's certain things we can't do, like talk bad about our president. We can't degrade the uniform, like actually in uniform. Like, I couldn't go out and do a photo shoot in my uniform, like also in a bikini. That'd be degrading the Air Force, right? But if I'm not in my uniform and like I'm off duty, I'm not doing anything illegal or degrading to the United States of America. And that's that very gray area. So just like don't change who you are. You're gonna get pushed back from men. I pray that you're in a unit. I was in a really good unit here in Arizona. However, I did run into a lot of instances. So I do social media as a side job. I dibble and dabble in a little bit of modeling. And I literally had an NCO that sent my photo, y'all. She sent my photo to my commander. If you're in the military, you know how. The commander, for you guys who aren't in, that's like your highest within your unit. Like, he's your boss. Like, he's the top dog. Someone sent one of my photos to my commander and like said, oh, she's degrading the Air Force. I was wearing, you know what, I'll actually put the picture right here. This is the exact picture, and you guys can see I'm wearing shorts. My shorts are short. I'm a 19-year-old freaking fine girl with no kids yet. Like, what? There's nothing wrong with that picture. And she tried to send it, and I was just like, people were actually trying to like back her up and saying that like I didn't have the right to be on social media and do what I was doing. And I was like, I'm not naked. Like, what's wrong with you people? Like, I mean, I got out of that. I was told that I needed to watch the way I portrayed myself on social media, which if you guys follow me, like my page, even before my husband, you might get like a little risque, little snap here and there. By risque, I just mean like me, like, you know, finger by mouth, or me like turned around a little bit, but never anything like revealing. And they were saying, oh, well, you wouldn't want to like, I was up to win Airman of the Year and to get promoted early amongst my peers. And they literally called me in and was like, you wouldn't want to let that, you know, someone on the board see your Instagram and think that you're not worthy of being Airman of the Year or worthy of being promoted amongst your peers. And it's so sad that we have to deal with shit like that. Like, on the outside, yes, but especially in our military, because we serve right along with the men. Like, we go through all the bullshit. We deploy. We have to leave our kids, leave our family, leave our husbands. Like, are you kidding me? Men do not deal with the same stigma that women deal with in the military. And we have just such strict standards. But it's just so twisted for us. Like, a guy could be out here with, like, shirtless pics, like even like wearing his uniform like pants, and I've seen that happen so many times and nothing was said to them. But let me post a photo like you guys just saw, and like the world falls in. Disclaimer, I won Internet of the Year that year and got promoted amongst my peers, so thank you very much, y'all. It was so bad. I went to talk. So yeah, don't change who you are. You're gonna deal with stigma. Continue to push through. I want to talk a little bit about the regs for women, especially as a black woman. I dealt with a lot, like hair braids. I once had, you know, if you are African American and you're going in and you have curly hair like I do, you really have to fight, man. Like, I'm serious. Like, our hair doesn't just slick down like some, no offense, but like some of these like white girls' hair. Like, it doesn't always just slick down super easy. We get, you know, flyaways. A lot of us get braids as protective styles. And I had so much backlash when my hair looked completely professional. Nail colors, like a lot of black girls, like will wear like a soft pink. My nails are obviously like, this would not be fly. But if you would wear like a soft pink, that's something that was natural to your nail bed. They could say it's not natural, but a white girl had it on and it's natural for her. And vice versa. I saw that also happen to white girls. Like, their nails look totally fine. And I know someone who, she's black and her natural hair color is blonde, and they literally tried to tell her that she needed to dye her hair. Like, she was like, this is my natural hair color. Like, this is my hair. And they, like, weren't having it. She literally had to bring in, like, baby pictures and fight this. Ridiculous, guys. This stuff is just crazy. So that's just, you know, a little bit about the stigmas, the more annoying things that I had to go through with being a woman. Now let's dive into a little bit of, like, the more, like, serious things. So, like I said, I am very, like, super nice. I'm super outgoing. I'm super bubbly. Like, I'll talk to anyone. And some people take that as flirting. I don't know. I'm very approachable. So literally, like, my first 6 months in the military, I had someone in my unit. I just got fresh to my unit here in Arizona, and I had, like, this man. He was higher ranking than me, and he, like, would just keep, like, bothering me, keep coming in, bugging me. He would, like, try to sell, like, paintings to, like, women in my squadron, but, like, only women, never men. And so he would say just really weird, outlandish things. So one time he came in, and it got to the point to where he would come in and just make me feel so uncomfortable, and, like, just stand there and look at me, that, like, if I heard him coming down the hall, I would hide underneath my desk. And finally one day someone asked, like, why are you hiding? And I was like, oh, because, you know, so-and-so's coming. And she's like, what? Like, you are hiding under your desk right now? And I was like, yeah, like, no one. And I had 3 males in my office, guys, 3 males, and no one, like, ever, like, cared to ask me why I, like, hid every time that this guy came in my office. But finally I got a female in my office, and she was like, this is not okay, like, I'm gonna talk to him. So she talked to him, and, like, it got a little bit better. And I was never inviting to this man, like, never, guys. And so then one day he had me in the hallway, and, like, I told him, like, I wasn't feeling good. And he was like, oh, like, lady problems? And I was just like, oh, you know, like, I'm just not feeling good. And he literally said, he was like, well, I have a lot of experience with vaginas. Y'all, I'm 18 years old. This man's like fucking 40. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, I have a lot of experience with vaginas if, you know, you ever need, like, some help. Thank God there was another higher ranking individual that heard that. And he was a male. He, like, pulled me in his office and was like, what the fuck did he just say to you? And I told him. And, like, moral of this story, like, this was my first encounter of feeling, like, really, like, targeted for, like, being a woman, and, like, really, like, you know, sexualized at work. Like, it just goes to show that, like, you literally could wear, because I didn't really wear makeup in my uniform, to be honest. I really did not. It goes to show that, like, literally you can just be in, like, a baggy military uniform, and, like, people will still, like, think you're, like, asking for it or feel that way, you know what I mean? Moral of that story, this man actually ended up getting kicked out the Air Force, and he deserved it. Like, I'm gonna say, when I came forward and I, like, filed, like, a formal complaint, there was, like, 8 other young airmen, women, that filed complaints with me. So I was really glad that, like, that kind of, like, started the movement, and I was sorry that it happened to other women, but I am glad that, like, he's no longer serving in our military, because there's a lot of people like him serving in our military. So my second encounter with this was on my deployment. There was this kid, and he was like really weird. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, he was really weird. And he would always just like be extremely flirty, but never like touch me, and I would just be like, oh, hee hee ha ha. Like, he was super weird. So one day, like, I'm walking back to my tent, and it's like kind of like later at night. Like, it's definitely later at night. And he like runs up to me and like tries to like grab my hand, and I was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you touching me? Like, why are you grabbing my hand? And he like literally like forcibly like ripped me into him, and I started like yelling like, yo, get off of me, like, what is wrong with you? And I guess he thought that like that's what I wanted to be like hugged and touched and grabbed. And mind you, this is in like the middle of the day. So I felt so uncomfortable. I felt disgusted. I was up, mind you guys know, I just told you my deployment was like really hard on me just because of like judgment, and I got cheated on my deployment. And then I thought it'd be smart to like sleep with like someone that was my friend. Mind you, he was the third person I'd slept with. I don't just sleep with like random ass fucking people. And I was just like really bad. That didn't help people thinking I was a hoe. It was in a really bad place. So like this man just thinking that he could like grab me like that and like forcibly, like I had a bruise on my arm. Like it was so like just destructive. I did file a complaint against him, but I don't know whatever came of it. I never followed up. Like I had no desire. That was just not a good encounter. So that was my second encounter. So like, just protect yourself, guys. Like, I'm not kidding. Protect yourself, because like I said, you will think that like these people are like your brothers and your sisters, you know, but fuck that shit. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like I said, I loved the Air Force. I really did, but I went through like a lot of shit in the Air Force too. And there's people that went through like way more than me. That's the thing. And I just want to prepare you guys, like, just protect yourself. Be smart amongst who you hang out with. If you feel like someone has bad intentions, they probably have bad intentions. And if you deploy, like, people are fucking sick fucks out there. People just be cheating on their wives, husbands. They'll have fucking like 6 kids cheating. They'll cheat and then call their wives while a bitch is laying in their bed, or a nigga's laying in their bed. Excuse my language, guys. Like, vice versa. Like, it's honestly freaking destructive out there. And I was not innocent either, like I said. I was cheated on, but I also wasn't innocent. Like, we both were in the wrong. I've definitely grown a lot since then. I'm a completely different person. And both of us were in the wrong. We both weren't right. And that's why the relationship is no longer. However, it's just hard. Like, it's hard out there for us. I won't lie. Like, there's so many more men. This is everywhere, but I'm talking about deployment right now. But this is even at your base. There's so many more men and women that, like, sometimes I would just feel like always gawked at. And like, maybe I bring that on myself. Like I said, I'm that person. I'm really nice to everyone. I do wear what I want to the gym. I'll like dance in the gym, like in between sets. Like, I'm just doing my thing. Like, but at the same time, like, I feel like I deserve respect, and I demand respect. And you know, it's just, not all men are like this in the military. I do not want to scare you ladies. I just definitely want to keep it real for you guys, so that you know the shit that real life is what life is like for us in the military. You know what I mean? You can be successful, you can have a wonderful career, but just know that at least I felt like I had to work double the amount as a male that was next to me. And that's just me. That's how I felt personally. And I had to work triple the amount because I'm a black woman. That's how I felt. And no one's probably ever going to make me feel like that's not true. I haven't encountered it yet so far in my life. So, you know, that's just a little bit with that. I have really bad things that have happened to people close to me. There is someone close to me that had really opened my eyes to, like, that, you know, I understand, like, a lot of time when you're in the military and you are raped, like, I mean, completely assaulted, raped, that's taken from you. They're very strict about the procedure for that, because there are innocent men that were convicted of rape in the military and now their careers are over, because, you know, so a lot of women, they will, like, it definitely happens, definitely happens. They will say it happened, and that's not the case. Like, she consented and maybe didn't want to after, and I'm so sorry for those men that happens to, and that's horrible. However, there's someone really close to me, and I just want to share a little bit of, like, her story. She was raped. and you know, she didn't report it right away because many women don't. It's very traumatic. It's very, very traumatic. Drinking was involved. She didn't want to be labeled, you know. And she was doing fine in her Air Force career at that time. Well, let's just fast forward, like depression kicked in. I mean, she did go and she did report this to like the SARC office. That's our sexual assault office. So she did file like a full report. This person, her rapist, ended up like getting out the military, not like voluntarily. So nothing really came of it. But I mean, she gained like 65 pounds in 6 months. Like, guys, that doesn't happen. You don't gain 65 pounds in 6 months. Hair was falling out, her hair was matted together. She was so depressed. They wouldn't let her move off base. She was raped in her dorm room. They wouldn't let her move off. So she was like trying to like scrape money up to get by, to live off base, because she couldn't stand being in her dorm room. They had the audacity to tell her like, oh, well, you didn't file it right away and there was no rape kit, so how do we know this actually happened? And I know some of you might be like, hey, that's the harsh reality, but to me, I feel like the military failed her. She's about to no longer be in because of this. But to me, I feel like the military failed her. And I understand, like I said, we do have a standard to uphold. You have to come to work, you have to perform, you have to look put together. But, you know, people go through real life shit. People go through real life shit. And women in the military definitely go through real life shit. And it's not easy. I don't know how some people do it for like 20 years and retire. Like, I just feel like, yeah, there's a lot of stigma behind it. And it can be really difficult to deal with at times. So I'm going to end this video here. And like I said, if I can give you guys 3 tips for being a woman entering in the military, I do want to say that be strong and confident in yourself. Don't change for anybody. You be strong, you be confident in what you are doing, in the way you speak, in the way that you present yourself. Because you have to. If you come in and act ditzy and act whatever, they are right away not going to respect you. And you are in the United States Armed Forces. You deserve to be respected. So be confident and be strong in yourself. Number 2, protect yourself. Be vigilant. Be aware of your surroundings. You really don't be naive. I was very naive when I first came in. You need to learn who is here for you and who is not. And I mean, that's in all aspects of life. But definitely as a military woman, like, be vigilant and be smart about who you are surrounding yourself with. And really, yeah, just really be self-aware of who really, you know, the vibes you're getting from people, because those vibes are probably the vibes you're getting. And number 3 is just going to be, you know, be there for your sisters who are around you. I feel like as women in the military, like, we really need to stick together. Like I said, a lot of guys are really cool. I have like so many guy friends in the military. When I first came in, most of my friends were guys, to be honest. And they were some of the coolest people. To this day, we still talk and chat. But, you know, we need to be there for each other. So many women in the military are so catty, let me tell you. Maybe this is anywhere too, but like, you're just going to experience so much cattiness, let me tell you. And just try and, you know, push through it. Be there for each other, because I'm telling you, you guys will relate so much. Like, a lot more than like guys will relate to you, because we do go through like the same stuff, like day to day. Like, literally a woman will say something and then a guy will say the same thing. They'll be like, Jeff, that was a great idea. And you're like, Jeff, I said that 10 minutes ago. Like, that, it happens all the time. So yeah, guys, I hope this video has gave you a little bit of insight, you know, on being a woman in the military. Stay tuned for the next video. It is going to be the 5 things that I think that you need to do before making a decision to enlist. So if you're trying to enlist, the 5 steps that you need to take to do so. And then I'm also going to do a BMT video for women to prepare you guys for going to BMT. That's going to be like a little like extra video I'm going to throw in, because I get so many questions on that. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. If you have any more questions, go ahead and comment below, or you can direct message me and we can chat there. Thanks so much, guys, and see you next time.